there, it's Carol with Carolbcrafts. Today we'll be making this gorgeous gift card holder, or it could just be a little gift bag if you have something small like jewelry you would like to give someone. And inside is a card. I'll open this up for you. Just slide that ribbon down, and it has a darling little ornament on the back. Open it up, and then we'll also be making this card that goes with it. It's Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly, Sew and Be Jolly this season. So this is going to be something you might want to make several of this season, this Christmas season, because it will be really something to make that gift card special to the person that you give it to. We'll be using our beautiful Delicata Celestial Copper ink, and we'll be using Night of Navy for our card. For your adhesives, you'll want some tear and tape for your ribbon that goes around your bag, some snail, and some multi-purpose glue. You'll want some scissors and a bone folder, and of course you'll want your Christmas Gleaming stamps along with the punches that we're going to use. We use 2 punches that come with this bundle. Usually there's only 1 punch that comes with a bundle, but this has 2 punches to punch out the ornaments. We have the larger ornament, and these are Christmas Gleaming ornaments punches, and they're sold as a bundle right now, and you save 10% when you purchase the stamps and the punches. Now this is project number 4 in my Christmas Gleaming class to go. You can check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com to see what current class to go kit I'm offering. So we'll clear this away and we'll get started with our stamping. Now here's your kit. Everything is pre-cut for you except the things that you cut with your punches. Let's see what we have here. It looks like this is our DSP. This is our card base, and we have this as well. This will be on the inside sentiment here. So we'll be stamping on this, and we'll be stamping on these 2 pieces of Very Vanilla, and I'll give you the dimensions as we go along so that if you don't have the kit, you can make this card with us. So I'll put away these things that we're not going to need to stamp on right now. I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus. So here's my Stamparatus. I'll put a random stamp pad there to make this level. Now for the inside sentiment, you're probably going to want a 4x6 piece of window sheet. So we'll start by stamping the inside sentiment. It's a piece of Very Vanilla, 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. It's square, and we'll bring in that piece of 4x6 window sheet, put it in the top right corner. This is going to be, we're going to stamp and Be Jolly this season, and we're going to use our Night of Navy. So let me get that stamp. We'll first stamp our image here on our plastic. Here's my Night of Navy. And I'm just going to put that, let's see, where did I stamp that? Did I stamp it in the center? Up at the top there. Kind of level and in the center, up at the top. So when you're happy with the placement, you put your magnet there and a magnet here to hold that in place. Remove your plastic, ink up your stamp again, and stamp your image. And I'm going to do that one more time so that I have a nice rich image there. Okay, so my inside is done. I'm going to clean this stamp off. I'm going to put this away, out of the way so I don't get ink on it. So I want to clean off my window sheet and dry it as well. I'll dry it with a microfiber cloth because I'll be using this again. So I'll put this in place. Now I'm going to bring in the labels that I give you two, you only need one. These labels and this decorative backing that I've die cut with the copper metallic paper both came from the Ornate Frames dies. These are awesome dies for labels. If you're like me, you're always looking for the perfect label for your sentiment, and this gives us lots of new options. Ornate Frames dies. So I've got my Christmas Gleaming stamps, and I'm going to get my Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly, and I will make sure I have it in the right direction. We're also going to want to have a piece of scratch paper as well, and of course I forgot to tell you. Now the little flat ends, they are going to go top and bottom so that you stamp it in the right direction. We're going to put a little bit of snail on the back, just enough to hold it in place. And then we're going to ink that up with Night of Navy. That's our image to guide us to where to put our label. We'll center that so that it looks nice. And when we're happy with it, we'll put our magnet down, remove our plastic, ink up our stamp. I'll clean off my stamp. We're done with the Night of Navy ink. We'll put that up to dry as well. We have two pieces of Very Vanilla that are 4 by 3 1/4. We'll be stamping our ornaments in the Celestial Copper. So we'll get our first ornament stamp, which will be for the back, which is this decorative one here. And if you're right-handed, you're going to want to stamp it upside down like this. And if you're left-handed, you want to stamp it right side up like that. So upside down if you're right-handed, and near the edge here. And I'm going to get my Celestial Copper ink. Put that in place because that ink likes to pull up your paper cardstock. You usually have to do this about 3 times to get the best image that I want. Okay, so I have that one. I'll clean that stamp off. Now I'm going to stamp these two more decorative, kind of like a filigree. I'll put my other piece of 4 by 3 1/4 inch Very Vanilla. Again, upside down. I'll do the larger one first, and near the top. Going to do that in our Celestial Copper as well. Lift it up gently so you don't pull that paper. Okay, I have that one. Now I'm going to not touch my image. It takes a little longer for this ink to dry. It's a pigment ink. So we're going to go ahead and see if I can put this here without. Clean that stamp off. And now we're going to do the little one, and we're going to do the same upside down near the top. And use our Celestial Copper. Okay, so I'm going to clean that stamp off, and we'll start putting our card together. Now you want to be careful when you're working with these images until they dry completely, because like I said, the pigment ink takes longer to dry, and you definitely don't want to smear that. So we're going to bring in some of our other items. We'll do these two things we'll put away for right now. Just get them out of the way so they don't get ink on them or messed up. So this is a piece of thick Very Vanilla. It is 8.5 by 4 1/4, so 8.5 by 4 1/4, and I've scored it at 4 1/4, so it's a square card. So find your crease and then crease your fold. That's our card base. Now we're going to have our DSP, which is 4 by 4, is going to go on the front, and I'm going to put that on with glue. Now the DSP is Brightly Gleaming DSP. It's on page 31 of our holiday catalog, as well as the bundle that we're working with. And like I said, I'm going to put this on with some glue, and that way I can kind of move it around. Doesn't take a lot. We want an eighth of an inch all the way around, and I'm going to look at it straight on so I can get it even. Okay. Now this is a piece of the copper metallic paper that I've die cut with this one die from the Ornate Frames dies. So I'm going to wait to put that on until, well, I'm going to put my, where is it? We'll go ahead and put our Deck the Halls. Twist it off. Don't pull it. If you pull it, it might bend. So we're going to put this on with glue, particularly because this one is a little bit trickier. Do not get glue on your copper paper. You will not be a happy camper if you do. So start by putting it in the center, and then we'll move it around till it's where we want it. And that's why I like to use the glue, because it does give you that little bit of opportunity to put it right where you want it. While that's drying, let's go ahead and do the inside. We have a piece of Pretty Peacock that is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. We'll bring in our sentiment that we stamped, and we're going to put that on there. I guess I'll use some snail for that. Looks like we have a 1/16 of an inch. That's going to go on the inside. And now we can put this on the front, and I think I'll put that on with glue as well. Just be careful not to get any on the front. And looks like I must have missed a little piece here when I was die cutting. I didn't get that little piece there out. So you might want to check yours and make sure all of yours is out. So some more glue here. Like I said, be careful not to get any on the front on that copper paper. This is just going to go smack dab in the center. Level it out, make sure it's even on all sides. Okay, we'll just let that dry. So our card is finished. Now we're going to work on our envelope. This is our envelope. And you can find these copper dotted treat bags on page 173 of our annual catalog. So I'm going to go ahead and punch out our ornaments. Hopefully they're dry enough. I stamped this one first, so I'll just be careful when you slide it in to kind of avoid rubbing it if you can. Okay, we have our adorable little ornaments. They're ready to put on. So we're going to get, I guess I didn't tell you, you needed your scoring tool. So you're going to get your bag and your scoring tool. And you're going to turn the bag forward, facing you, so you're going to open it up, the short end facing forward. And you're going to lightly score with your large end of your scoring tool, 4 3/4, just very lightly. You don't want to rip the paper. That's just like a little line for you to follow. So now you're going to find your line and you're going to fold back on your score line. And then you're going to get your bone folder, increase that fold. That way you have a nice neat fold there. Open it up, and now you can see there's like a line here and a line here where the crease where you folded it. You're going to bring this edge over to meet that crease. So there. So your line should be on the back. This is clear, there's no seam here. Your seam should be on the back, and you're folding towards that crease that you just made when you folded. And then you can crease that with your bone folder. Now if you want to, and you think it looks better, you can kind of trim off any of the excess there, so that that's kind of straight across right there. So it's straight across, and then if there's anything sticking out, you can trim that as well. So this is where we're going to attach this large ornament, and we're going to do that with 3 glue dots. We don't want our glue dots to go past this, because if they do, then when you want to open your bag, it's going to stick and you can't get it open. So your glue dots, the 3 glue dots that you're going to put on this, you're going to put it on high up towards the top. So let me get my glue dots. One's going to go here on that little piece there, and then kind of like a triangle. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3. Should have been over a little bit more, but that's okay, it'll still work. So I'm going to make sure that when I put this on, that I don't go over this part here. And I'm going to make sure it's level and even as well. Okay, now mine is fine, so that means that when I go to open it, it's going to open and it's not going to be stuck. So we're going to put our card inside now, because the card will help us to have a little more body to the envelope. It should just slide right in there. Okay, so we're going to close that up now. Next we're going to put on our ribbon, and I have a piece of 12 inches of the Very Vanilla Copper, a classic weave ribbon. It's 12 inches. Now we're going to bring this around. First you want the Merry Christmas to go in the right direction. So we're going to bring this around to the front, which doesn't seem to Why would you want it to be like this in the front? Well, that's because we're going to cover that up with our ornaments, so it's not going to show. So it looks like this end is about 1 1/4 inches. Yeah, about 1 1/4 inches from this edge. That's where I'm going to start this. I'm going to wrap this around. And bring it over. No buckles or anything in the back. I want to measure where that top ribbon ends, but I don't want it to show, so I'm going to go just maybe like 1/4 of an inch in and make a mark, just enough so that I can see the mark. It doesn't have to be very big. I want to put my tear and tape from that mark to the end. So I'll get my tear and tape and I will put that right there. This tear and tape is really good stuff, and it will keep your ribbon where you want it. So we're going to wrap it around again, around the back. Make sure your letters are going in the right direction, but you could always change it upside down. If it's upside down, you could always change it. So you can see kind of where I'm going with that. I'm going to remove that and then press this down. But before I remove that, I'm going to just take my snips and make a nice little angle cut right here, so that the edge that's left showing is going to be kind of pretty, even though it's probably not going to show. I will know it's there. So let's move this so that this is going to be ending about right here, about 1.5 inches from the edge is where you want your top one to end. So now I'm ready to remove this plastic off of the adhesive, match up. Now you want this tight but not too tight. Alright, so we've got that. We have, I'm going to bring in these. Let's see. I'm trying to remember how I put these on. Did I use, looks like I used, maybe, I don't know, maybe I used some glue? It looks like I did. Okay, so let me see. I want it about right there. Just a little line of glue. And I'm going to put it right there. I'll let that dry. Make sure it's level. And this one I think I put on with glue dots. So let me bring in my glue dots, kind of get an idea where I want the glue dots to be. And I'll put 3 glue dots because I do want this to stay in place. You just don't want it to go over the ribbon, past the ribbon. Okay. Now if you wanted to make this prettier, you could put some jewels there, some rhinestone jewels, and color them with your blends. You could color them a different color, whatever color you wanted. But for now, this is how it is. And this is what you have. I think these are gorgeous. I hope you're going to want to make lots of these to hand out. Now to open them, you don't have to take the ribbon all the way off. You just have to slide it down past the ornament and open it like that. And like I said, this is good for small gifts, or gifts of money, or gifts of a gift card, to kind of pretty it up so that it's, so that you feel good about giving a gift card. They know that you took the time to make them a beautiful package, so that kind of makes it a little more special. Sometimes when you give a gift card, you feel like, oh, I'm just giving a gift card. But this lets them know that you really do think a lot of them and that you took time to make it special for them. All right, well, thanks for watching. I hope you have great holidays. Check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com, to see what current Class to Go kit I'm offering. Bye now.